All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 28th ever episode of the Failing to Success in Multifamily show, a podcast where we appreciate, discuss, and reflect on the setbacks real estate investors have had leading up to their success. Today, I have a very special guest, and I'm really excited to have Omar on as a guest. Omar specializes in risk-averse underwriting as well as institutional financing. CFA chart holder, Omar has 10 years of experience investing across real estate and commodities, has advised on $3.7 billion of capital financing and mergers and acquisition transactions. I got introduced to Omar by Arn, who we had on our podcast a few months ago. And from what I have been told, Omar is an absolute rock star syndicator who has syndicated large multi-million-dollar real estate deals across the US and advised high net worth advisors and entrepreneurs on real estate portfolio allocations. Now, I'm sure that behind all his success is sacrifice, dedication, and a whole lot of hard work. So I can't wait for you all to hear his journey, his successes, but most of all, and the reason why we're here today, his failures as he continues to reach his goals within multifamily. Omar, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Very appreciative for you inviting me, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah. Omar, thank you so much. I know that you're a really, really busy guy, so we'll just jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
First of all, I think I did a pretty bad job at introducing you.
I think you did a great job. Don't worry about it. So this is number 28th show, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. This is going to be your greatest show ever. I think you did a great job introducing me. Let's get into it. What do you think is the most important question? Let's go.
Absolutely. So first of all, I want to hear from your words who Omar is.
Bro, if I know the answer to that question, I would be a very wise person. I don't plan. I am just another guy. I like money. Everybody has a big why. My big why is I enjoy living a comfortable life. Therefore, I work really hard. Right? I'm not as profound as other people. So Omar is somebody who's just a normal person who enjoys a good life. And I understand to enjoy a good life, because God has been so kind to me, to enjoy a good life, I have to work hard and provide for my family. So that's why I hear that.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. And a good life is definitely something that we should all strive to get. And in our industry, Omar, as you know, we have decided to get a good life through different avenues, one of which we have decided was real estate. So I want to dive into your background, Omar. What did you do before real estate? And talk to us about your path from when you got started to how you got into this beautiful industry.
Look, I mean, my path was it wasn't planned. I didn't really plan on getting into real estate. But now that I look back, I realize there were very many commonalities. So personally, my family's a business family. So real estate wasn't their business, but over a period of time, they just owned a lot of commercial real estate. So growing up, you could see, okay, that's where they invested a lot of their money and stuff. So that was one introduction. And professionally, I worked in investment banking. I worked in M&A. I worked in a bunch of roles. So essentially, the reason why I'm mentioning that is because those roles really help me to see stuff both from the sell side, which is advisory, but the buy side, which is the client side, where you actually own and do whatever you're doing, right? Yeah. So because I had both of those perspectives, I had an operational, I was lucky enough to get operational experiences as well. So that really helped me provide good perspective. And then, when I moved to the US from Canada, I don't know, 7-8 years ago, I had a very good set of networks, I had a good set of professional and personal, experiences. Mm-hmm. And between my wife and I, we got married at the time. We decided, okay, what's the next step for us and our family? And real estate seemed to be a good pivot point. Yeah. A lot of people in my network wanted to invest in real estate. So, when you have an active crowd or active captive audience that's telling you to go do something, so that was very good, right? So that helps. Obviously, it makes the job much easier. Yeah. But the benefits of this is also the tax benefits, that there is many. So that really helps, right? That helps with the money, because like I tell people, it doesn't matter how much you make, it's how much you keep at the end of the day, right? So the tax benefits are really good, but the positive plus side of being in this business, apart from the business angle, which is thank by the grace of God, it's very good, is also the quality of the people I get to interact with, right? You and I are talking right now. There is no way you and I would have been talking if I wasn't in this business. Yeah. That's when I talk to my investors, and they're coming from so many different facets of life. They own companies, they're professionals. So a lot of times your network grows that way.
Yeah,
Which,
I love
for
that.
instance, wouldn't have grown if I was just working a job and my corporate career was good, but my network wouldn't have grown that way.
Yeah, I absolutely
So,
love that.
so there's very many positives, apart from the making money and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I absolutely love that, Omar. My girlfriend actually works in IB as well, and she is now looking into transitioning her experience into real estate. And what's very fascinating about your story, Omar, is that you really decided, after a really nice career in corporate America, you decided to get into real estate. Obviously, we know the benefits of real estate, one of which is the amount of money that you can get to keep, right? Bonus depreciation is a great strategy. Obviously, now it's not at 100%. We're going into a year where bonus depreciation is at 80%. But all that to say, it's a great strategy to actually keep money, but also make money, right? It's a great way to achieve financial independence. But I want to ask you, Omar, you come from such a great corporate background. A lot of people would have been satisfied with staying in that role, right? You make great money, you make more money than most, if you think about it. Why didn't you want to stay that route? Why did you decide to leave such a cushion lifestyle to get into the unknown, to get into real estate?
My friend, comfort is the killer of all progress, right? When you're very comfortable, this means you're fat and lazy. When you're fat and lazy, this means you're regressing, number one. So, but number one. Number two, I realized I kicked myself. I should have done this a long time ago, but you can't go back in time. So the fact of the matter is, man, like when you have an itch, you have to scratch that itch, right? In my case, the itch was that I really value my time. I was really grateful for my corporate experiences because they helped me, and they are still helping me to get to where I'm going. So that level of discipline, that level of being around professionals, learning from professionals that are way, way, way ahead of you in their career, and then kind people who mentored me along the way, that's really helped, not helped me get to where I am, but it's also helping me go forward, right? That. But what I realized is that, number one, let's put it this way, I value time freedom a lot more, right? So I value the fact that in the middle of the afternoon, if work isn't happening, I can just up and leave and do whatever I want. And I'm not shy of working. I'm just shy of, I just found like the corporate life was a bit too rigid for me, right? And maybe that was just where I am and what I was doing. But the other flip side to this also is, man, like when you talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, when people have the itch, they have the itch to do something, whatever that itch is, business, job, lifestyle, hobbies. You just have to go do that. And I realized the longer I stayed and the longer I became comfortable, the harder it would become because, I started this when I didn't have children, right? And 1 or 2 years later, I had children. So if I was to take this risk now when I have children, it's much harder. And I'm 37. And if I was 40, 45, it would be way harder. So already at 30, 29, 30, I thought to myself, look, it's not going to become easier. So if you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if you don't want to do it, then stop thinking about it. Right? And if you want to do it now because it's not going to become easier. Right? The further on we go in life, the more, it's harder to take pain the longer we go on in life, right? So, maybe it was right time, right place, right country. For instance, I couldn't have done this in Canada where I was living, right? So, like I said, sometimes luck also plays a big part, right? But right place, right timing, right country, basically.
Absolutely. And like, luck also comes with preparation, right? And it seems like you were really, really well prepared to position yourself to make that leap, right? And you've been really, really successful in doing so. But obviously with success comes failures, right? Omar, I want to dive into a deal, right? I want to dive into the second segment of our show here, and that is a deal. Now, I know that you've been really successful, but my show highlights failing to success in multifamily, right? Let's talk about a deal, Omar, that was a big headache. The kind of deal that when you think about it makes you sweat to this day.
Oh man, there is no deal that's not a big headache. Every single deal is a headache, right? Look, we get paid for the headache. If you're talking about failures in that regard, right now, look, in the past 5-10 years, if anybody has had failures in multifamily, they really need to get their head examined. The market has been so good, so failures of that regard should be less. But if you're talking strenuous, arduous stuff, they happen all the time. On one of the deals, the lender retraded us, so I had to go raise an additional $1.5–2 million within 2 weeks. And
Wow.
this was right at the closing time, right? So I mean, that was a pain in the butt, right? We did it, but it was a pain in the butt. There are other challenges, right? Once, for instance, on one deal, the lender was basically is a real dick. So the lender basically was not funding till the last moment. He had extended. I really had to get all over them. It became a big fight. But again, that's part and parcel of what we got paid. So my point is, each deal, well, maybe not every deal, but there's enough deals where at various points along the way, stuff happens, roadblocks happen. And even, by the way, once you close the deal and you're operating it, roadblocks happen, right?
Yeah.
And the way around it a lot of times is just brute force, man.
Yeah.
You just have to put blinders on and you just have to say, look, I just have to land this ship now. We don't have to land it smoothly. We just have to land it.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're saying an airplane, right, and I don't know, like it's whatever, some reason it's not working out. You don't have to land pretty. You don't get points for landing prettier versus ugly. You just have to land the damn thing.
Yeah.
So as long as you have that mentality, and then look, you have a good team around you, you can bounce ideas, you can delegate, they can delegate some stuff to you. That helps out. But there are many instances with it's primarily with lenders, right? It's lenders, sometimes investors back out, that's very rare. Or, you find out that somebody hasn't disclosed certain factors, environmental and other factors that now are causing an issue. So those are part and parcel, but that's where having a good team, having a strong personality, and then just realizing, man, sometimes life sucks. What are you going to do about it? I mean, bitching about it isn't going to help, right? So you just have to go about it, man. You just have to go do it. My point is, it's going to suck. But if it was easy, everybody else would be doing it.
Absolutely. And just like you said, pivoting is key. And frankly, you're right. A lot of the challenges that comes with deals, and there's many, but a lot of the time comes from lenders. And, in the past year, we've seen a lot of lenders retrading last minute before closing, changing their terms, things like that. And it's, I'm happy to hear that you're able to pivot. And what allows you to pivot is just your mindset, right? That brings us to the third.
But there's a lot of I just want to say it's not just mindset, because no amount of positive thinking is going to manifest something into reality. You still have to go do the work, of course. Right? Because I think these days everybody thinks like, think positive. Okay, great. What do I do now? Right? Like something has to happen. So they're also having a really good team, and being around the block a little bit also helps. But having a really good team helps, because you can then delegate work and focus on specific tasks, while all the other important stuff is also getting done.
Yeah, I absolutely love multifamily because it allows for economies of scale. And with economies of scale comes, teams, right? And I love this book called Who Not How. Who Not How is an amazing book because it teaches you the same exact thing that you're preaching, Omar, is having a team that is able to, do what you're not necessarily good at, or one you don't necessarily want to do, is so key to actually scaling and overcoming obstacles, such as the one that you have overcome in the past, right? So I absolutely love that. I think you, Omar, one of the things that sets you apart, as you said, is you have brute force in how you're able to get past these challenges, and having brute force means having the right mindset to actually allow yourself to do that. So the third segment of our show, I like to highlight our guest's mindset. So how do you keep yourself motivated to get through the challenges you encounter?
My friend, I like money, like I told you at the start. I like money, and I hate being poor. That's what motivates me, right? Because when we do deals, we make money for our investors, we make money for our partners, then maybe we make a little bit of money for ourselves, right? Hopefully, that's the hope, right? So we all have a job, and the job is a lot of times is to just look. We all have a job. You have a job. I have a job. Other people in the world have a job, right? So if every time the job became hard, we start bitching and moaning and complaining, then that's going to be pretty tough. And nobody wants to be around people who complain all the time. Now, don't get me wrong. I bitch and moan all the time, but I went outside of my job. I hate bitching, right? But when you have a job, you have a role. Yeah, it sucks. My point is, what are you going to do about it, right? Because bitching about it and not doing anything isn't going to solve your problem. Absolutely. So bitch if you have to, but just finish the work. And once you're done with the work, who gives a shit?
Action over complaining about a specific situation that you may not be happy in is truly key, right? And I think one of the things that sets successful real estate investors apart from those who, you know, fail to achieve is simply that, is just action, you know. Omar, if you were to describe one word that describes you when things get tough or when things don't go your way, what would that one word be?
Oh, determined. I hope that the word is determined. Obviously, you'll have to ask a third party to tell it about myself. That would be the best way. But I hope determined is determined, or maybe strong-headedness. Maybe, you know, maybe these two go side by side. So it's not one word. Maybe it's, I guess, 2.5 words.
I like that. I like that. And you know, talking to Arn ahead of our show here, you know, he would describe you that way as well, because he mentioned that you were an absolute rock star in our industry, and that you do and that you do things the right way. And you know, in our short conversation here, I can tell that you are very determined, not only investor but individual as well. And I absolutely love that. Actually admire it. So Omar, let's dive into the final questions here, and that is to, now these questions are strictly to you know, learn more about what you're doing and what's in the pipeline, and you know, where can people connect with you. So the first question, Omar, is we're now heading into the second quarter, or close to the end of the second quarter of 2023. So, you know, what are your goals for the rest of this year?
My friend, I'm not really a good goals type person, right? I'm not really a big grand thinker. All I like to do is put one foot after the other, right? So we have a deal. We have a whole bunch of deals in our portfolio that we're working on that keeps us busy. We're launching a new development in the next 1 or 2 weeks. We have a conference coming up in Vegas, April 26th to the 28th. And look, we're in the market at all times. We're offering at all times, but you know, if a deal doesn't work, we don't force it, right? So for me, what to me it's more important is doing the daily, weekly stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not much of a big goal setter, right? That might be that might be a downside of what I do or the way I think. I'm not much of a big goal setter. I'm more of a, hey, here's what I got to do daily. Here's what I got to do weekly.
I like that.
Let's just do that, right? So I'm very momentum oriented. If I've got good momentum, I can do a lot more, right? So I like to keep myself busy. We've got this development. We've got this conference coming up. So that keeps us busy. And, you know, when we get to the other side, I guess we'll find out.
I like that. Absolutely like that. So it sounds like you have a lot of projects in the pipeline. You're working on different acquisitions. You know, one big ground up project. But you also have a conference, right?
Yeah.
That you're hosting in Vegas. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yep. Look, you can go to the website www.multifamilywealthproject.com. That's multifamilywealthproject.com, one word. The reason for this conference is, like, you know, you and I were talking right before the podcast. This industry is one of the few industries left that's still all relationship driven, like literally. And as much as online, you know, how we're having right now, this is a good way to initiate contact. If you really want to develop a deep relationship, you really want to do really deep business with people, and you want to do it over and over again, eventually you have to physically meet people. There is no substitute to physically meeting people, right? That's just the way it is. Look, I gave you the example, right? President of the United States still goes and physically meets people. The president, if you think about it, he's the president of the United States. He doesn't have to go meet people, right? People have to come meet him, but he still goes out and meets people. Why? Because when you meet people, your relationship solidifies in a way that it's just hard to describe, right? So that's why we host a conference for a couple of reasons. Number one is to relationship building aspect, right? Number two is we have our own equity partners and our own investors, and we can introduce them to other sponsors that we feel are really quality people. They do similar work to us, but hey, you expand the pie this way. And for sponsors, what's really good is, and these are all guys and girls we know, they get to now meet other investors and equity sponsors. So when they're doing their business, you know, hopefully they can expand their business. And the whole idea is, look, if we provide, say, 100x revenue to 100x value to our partners, and even if 10% comes back, that's 10x value to us, right? If you think about it, right? So in those marketing terms. So if you add value, you connect people, and then you connect personally yourself with people, it really helps you to take yourself to the next level.
I like that.
And that's basically what it is. Look, we're all working hard to provide a better quality of life for ourselves, our families, and our communities. So if we've already done like 95% of the hard part, we'll do the other 5 and physically go meet people. And meeting people one-to-one is very hard. So this way, when we gather all of the top minds in the industry in one place, it's much easier to meet everybody in a short period of time.
Yeah, that's so true, and I second that, right? Because relationship in our industry in the real estate space, if we want to put it in a broader term, is so key. I could not have gotten the opportunities that I've gotten so far had it not been for my relationships with my now business partners. It's so hard to
explain. It's insane. You can't explain it till you go through it.
Exactly. And that's always what I tell individuals. How were you able to acquire this? Frankly, sometimes I don't even know.
Yeah, look, I 100% agree with you. I still talk to my friends who are in private equity, doctors, lawyers, physicians. And the thing is, it's just very hard to explain till you haven't gone through it yourself.
So true.
Like I have 2 sons, right? So the example I give is, look, my sons can read, and they're young, right? So they can read all the books they want on learning how to ride a bicycle, but it's not really going to help them. They still have to get on the bicycle and ride it.
Yeah, that's so true.
Right? And you fall down and you get up and you try to balance. So reading a book about it isn't going to help you. You still have to go do the action.
So true. So true. So guys, I'm going to put the link to Omar's conference in the show notes for anybody who is, looking to network with other top individuals in the real estate industry. Please attend Omar's conference and please reach out to Omar. He's a very active and knowledgeable real estate investor in our industry. And if you're also looking for opportunities to invest, please reach out to Omar. Omar, what is one thing that would help you in your business right now? One thing or one person?
I think Albert or Tinny. Should I call you Tinny?
Yep, Tinny is fine.
Okay, Tinny, I want you to give me all your money.
Interesting.
Right? That's going to really help me. Look, man, it's all about me. I'm joking. What you should do is you should go to my mailing list by visiting my website, boardwalkwealth.com. The form is right on the homepage. If you join now, I'll give you access to my hidden mobile app with 9 hours of free passive investing courses. Again, that's at boardwalkwealth.com. Now, when you join, you get on the mailing list, you send me an email, we develop a relationship and see if we can do some business together.
Beautiful. That's simple. That's amazing. Guys, once again, if you're looking to connect with Omar, where can people connect with you?
Boardwalkwealth.com, man. Just sign up on the mailing list. We're going to make it happen.
Awesome. Guys, it's been Tinny Colin and Omar making it happen. Signing off.